So we will start a new unit, that is work and energy.
Okay.
Although we are also going to discuss power here in detail, so I'll also mention that work,
Hmm.
energy and power we are going to see. But before that, let us have a little description on, let's say this is an object which is lying on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Just assume an object lying on the ground.
Hmm.
To move this object, what you need to do? Okay, we need to apply force.
Yeah.
Okay, but if we do not have energy within us, we will not be able to apply force.
Yeah.
That means we require energy. Okay,
Hmm.
that is one thing. We require
Okay.
energy to apply the force.
Yeah.
And when we supply energy, let us suppose I move this, let's say this is a table, I move this table from position 1 to position 2, then we feel that we have done some work. Of course we have done some work. We go and say that okay, I have done this much work today. So
Yeah.
what can be seen from here? That we do work. So whenever work is done, this is 100% sure shot, energy will be consumed. Energy
Yeah.
will be consumed. I am talking about that person who is doing work.
Hmm.
Let us suppose I am doing work, so energy will be consumed means with respect to me, my energy will decrease. So if I do
Yeah.
more work, more energy will be decreased. So
Yeah.
we can say work done is equal to energy consumed. First thing we will remember.
Okay.
And the SI unit, how do I measure work and energy? Both in terms of joules. So
Okay.
joule, it is the SI unit of energy.
Okay.
So we will see in detail what this work is, and whatever work we are talking about, mainly we will discuss about the physical work, because there is a difference between physical work and real work what we do. So I'll give certain example. You have to tell me whether some work is done in that scenario or not. So two examples I'll take. Let us say on on the head, a person is carrying a luggage and walking on the road. Number two, or let us take this scenario only. In this case, is there any work which is going on? To
Yeah. Work.
understand the concept of work, we need to understand with respect to what force we are asking the work done. So
Okay.
here on this object which is moving, right? Because person is walking, so object is moving. So on this object, what force is applied and what direction the force is applied, that is necessary to calculate the work done in physics. So let us remember the definition of work done. Work is force into displacement. That means if this is the object, if this object is taken to the right and force is applied to the right, then in this case work done will be positive. So to be remembered, if the force and displacement are in the same direction, work will be positive. That is first case. So we are talking about the types of work. This is the basic difference, basic definition of work. So in the foundation class, we will be seeing what is the actual formula of work, which is helping us to find positive, negative and zero work. But that
Okay.
requires the usage of trigonometry. So there are three works we will discuss. One, positive work. Case 2, negative work. So we can observe here, what is the condition for positive work? Force and displacement are in same direction. Whereas negative work, when force and displacement are in opposite direction. So for example, let's say this is the object, it is moving in this direction, it is being displaced in this direction, and the force applied is in this direction. In this case, work done will be negative. So we are talking about work done by this force, whatever force we are taking. So now you would say, if force is applied to the left, how the object is being displaced to the right?
Yeah.
So answer to that is, this is not the force applied. Force can be any force. Definitely if
Resistive
the
force.
object is displaced to the right, force will be applied to the right. So
Yeah.
if I talk about the work done by applied force, in this case, that will be positive, because this force is in the direction of displacement. Whereas let us say friction force, of course that's a resistive force, it will act opposite to the direction of motion of an object. So we can say work done by the resistive forces, you can say friction force or air resistance, that is negative. The third case is zero work. So let us observe the condition when no work is done, zero work. So if the angle is 90° with respect to displacement and the force, then the work done is 0 in this case. So what should be the angle? So you can say force should act perpendicular to the displacement. So for example, let us go back to this scenario. Object is carrying the luggage. If I say, is the work done on the object positive, negative or 0? Then it does not make any sense. I should specify what, with respect to what force I am calculating the work done. If I say, what is the work done by the weight of the object, then answer will be 0, because object is displaced to the right and weight is always acting in the downward direction, that is at perpendicular angle. But if I say, what is the work done by the applied force, then it should be positive, because force is applied to the right direction on this luggage, that's why it's moving to the right. Okay, so if force is
Yeah.
applied to the right, or if force is applied to the direction of displacement, then it is positive work. So that is clear, the three types of work. Let us do this simple question based on the work. So very small expression of work we have. Work is force into
Displacement.
displacement,
Yeah.
right? It's mentioned here, it will be 10 joules only, because it
Hmm.
says 5 Newton is
Yeah.
acting on the object. Object is displaced through 2 meters in the direction of force.
Yeah.
So
it's
work, we know
positive
it is
work.
force into distance,
Yeah.
or you can say displacement in the direction of force. So 5 into 2 unit should be joule. So answer is 10 joule. We have to also take into consideration whether it is positive, negative or 0 work, and
Okay.
that we are clear, because it's mentioned that force is acting in the direction of, or the object is displaced in the direction of force. So let us do another question on
Okay.
this work. So it says porter lifts a luggage of 15 kg from the ground and puts it on his head. So let us say this is the porter,
Yeah.
lifts the luggage from the ground. So he will lift in the upward direction. It
Yeah.
says the question is, calculate the work done by him.
Okay.
Work done by him. That means he will apply a force in this direction. If the
Yeah.
question would have been to calculate work done by gravity, then the
Okay.
work done would have been negative, because gravitational force acts in the downward direction and it is being displaced in the upward direction. So just
Okay.
assume, if you have to lift any object and put it on your head, let's suppose, then you will apply the force in this direction definitely, right? So this is with respect to applied force. So work in this case will be applied force, and force will be against the force of gravity. So let us say this is the applied force and this is
Yeah.
the gravitational force, which is mg. So both these forces should be equal. So it should be mg, that's the force, into the distance. So that will be 15 times 10 times 1.5. So taking g as 10, you can take as g as 9.8 to get more exact result. So this gives 225 joules. This point is also necessary, that here we found the work applied by us. So how much work is applied by us?
225 joules.
How much work is to be required, we can say? Yes, that much work which can overcome gravitational force, which can overcome gravitational force. Okay, another simple question we have here, let us go through that. Yes, let us do this one.
Okay.
So a pair of bullocks exerts a force of 140 Newton on a plow. The field being plowed is 15 meters long. Okay, how much work is done? Very simple expression. Work will be 140 times 15. So yes, we get 2100 joules. You can also say it as
Oh yeah.
2.1 kilojoules,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
1 kilojoule is 1000 joules.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
We have seen now that joule is the SI unit of work and
Work.
even
Yeah.
energy. So the question
Okay.
is to define 1 joule. That 1 joule is the work done when 1 Newton of force is applied on an object which moves it by 1 meter.
Yeah.
Right. So this trick we will remember to define such kinds of expressions. So 1 joule we saw, this was the unit of work done. So work
Yeah.
expression will come in our mind. So it is force into displacement. So work, it is 1 joule when force is 1 Newton and the distance is 1 meter. So now we will talk about energy. So as we started with this description, I have given a very close relationship between work and energy. That means we can say
Yeah.
energy is a necessary thing which is required to do work.
Yeah.
So we can say energy is the definition of energy. It's the capacity to do
To do
work.
work.
And
Yeah.
that's very logical as well. If we have more capacity to do work, that means we are definitely having more energy.
Yeah.
And whenever work is done or whatever amount of work is done, it is exactly equal to the same amount of energy consumed or energy, you can say, required.
Okay.
So both, definitely both should be measured in joules. So what is the SI unit of energy? That is
The joules.
joules.
Hmm.
So we have two forms of energy. One, kinetic energy, another potential energy. There
Okay.
are different forms of energy as well, but we will not discuss them, like you can say electrical energy or heat energy, because here our basic objective is to discuss the energy which is related to the movement of an object or the motion of an object basically.
Okay.
So we will see what is kinetic energy.
Yeah.
Whenever the object is moving and the energy carried by moving object, that is called kinetic energy. This is the energy due to motion. So potential energy, what is this? This is the energy
Hmm.
due to position or configuration. That means location is important here to determine potential energy. So you can
Okay.
also say this is the energy at rest. This is the energy at rest, because if I am talking about energy at any specific position or configuration, it means I am meaning energy at rest, and this is energy in motion. So kinetic energy expression, if you see, it is half mv square. M is the mass, v is the speed of an object. So v is the speed and m is the mass of an object. Whereas potential energy, these are of two types: gravitational potential energy and
Okay.
elastic potential energy. So we will not talk about elastic potential energy as of present grade, because that's a part of foundation course, but this is what we have in our book, gravitational
Okay.
potential energy. So what is gravitational potential energy, or GPE in short? So we must remember the expression for gravitational potential energy represented by U, it is mg into h. Now what does this indicate? Of course, m is the mass, g is acceleration due to gravity, and h is the height of the object. So height is measured with respect to surface. So you can see, if I am talking about the surface and if the object is lying on the surface, what is the potential energy contained in the object? Answer is 0, because height is 0. Let us say I take this object to some height, right? I am taking this object to some height. So definitely I will be doing some work. So can you calculate the work done to take this object at this position, which is at height h, mg into h only, because work is done against the gravitational force.
Yeah.
So whatever work is done here, this work done gets stored in the object. Work done gets stored in object in the form of energy, and this energy only we are calling it as gravitational potential energy, right? So at this height, what is GPE? It is mgh, and you can see gravitational potential energy is dependent on height. So let us understand this statement. Whenever work is done, why the energy is stored in the object? So this is as a result of conservation of energy. Let us understand first conservation of energy. As the name suggests, conservation means energy will always be constant at all possible times. So you can say total energy is same at all times and even at all positions, whatever you consider, everywhere the energy will be constant, meaning that you can say energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, right? Energy will always be constant, right? That's the meaning, that is energy is
Yeah.
always constant. So we are talking about total energy. It's not like if we have 10 joules of energy, it will always be 10 joules of energy contained in us. No, total energy. Let us suppose, for example, let's say this is a block and this block is having some energy within it. Let's say 2 joules of energy. It is having 2 joules of energy, and let's say I have very high energy in me, that is 100 joules, and what I do some work, right? So initially, what is the total energy? 102 joules. This is the total initial energy. Now when I do some work, let us say I dissipate 10 joules of energy. So to me, what will be the energy left? 90 joules. So where should this energy go? This energy, it will not be destroyed, it will be transferred to the other object. So in block it was 2 joules of energy.
Okay.
So now it will become 12 joules. So if you even add it now, you will get 102 joules. So total energy in the universe is constant. Conservation means total
Okay.
energy in the universe is constant. So if energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, we are sure, yes, energy can be transferred. So we will see certain questions, but in those questions we are effectively going to use the expressions of the two forms of energy we learnt. What were the two forms? One, kinetic energy, another gravitational potential energy given by mgh, and this kinetic energy given by half mv squared. Okay, so before we move to do questions, let us see a very important relation between kinetic energy and momentum. We have seen about momentum in the previous classes. It was m into v. Kinetic energy, just now we saw, it is half mv square. So what I will do,
Yeah.
I'll take this expression of kinetic energy and improvise that. I can write k as half mv square. I will multiply mass and mass here, and that will
Yeah.
become m square v square by 2m, and m square v square I can write it as p square. So this is the
Okay.
relation we have for kinetic energy and the momentum. K is p square by 2m. So if you wish, you can remember this, else without remembering also, this is just a matter of fact. For 5 seconds we can get the relation between them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let us do few questions based on energy. So first let us do this question.
Okay.
Here we have the mass given as 15 kg.
Yeah.
It is moving with uniform speed of 4 meter per second. So kinetic
Yeah.
energy will be, yes, directly we will use the expression half mv square. So we get 15 times 8, that is 120 joules. Okay. Another question we will do.
Okay.
So all should be present in SI unit. Like if you
Yeah.
see here,
I change
it
it.
says work to be done to increase the velocity of car from 30 to
Yeah.
60 kilometers per hour, and
Yeah.
mass is given.
Yeah.
So this velocity will
I
be
changed the
30
velocity to
into
meter per
5 by
second.
18 meter per second.
Yeah.
So this will be 25 by 3 meter per second. And similarly this will be 50 by 3 meter per second. So work done will be equal to the change in energy. So final energy minus initial energy. Let us calculate. So final energy is half. Mass will be same. So I'll take that as common. So v square minus u square. So this will come out to be 750 times 2500 minus 625 by 9. So that will be, so this will get cut. So 250 times 2500 minus 625 will get 1875 divided by 3. So approximately this should come in decimal. So we get
Yeah. Actually,
250
I
times
the 25 by
1875
3 and 50
over
by
3.
3.
So it comes out to be,
Yeah.
right,
Hello.
156250
Yeah.
joules.
Actually, I had made it into decimals. The 25 by 3, I made it as 8 point.
So it's also better to take this energy in terms of kilojoules, because it looks like a very
Yeah.
huge amount of energy. So just we write 156.25 kilojoules. It looks more better.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
another one we will do. So this question we will do. So kinetic energy of an object of mass m moving with velocity 5 is 25 joules. Okay,
Yeah.
so half m v square is equal to 25, that's given. So from here we solve and get m as 2 kg. So it says what will be its kinetic energy when its velocity is doubled. So this was the velocity. We have already got the mass. So yes, when velocity is doubled, so if velocity is doubled, what we get? V as 10 meters per second. So this gives kinetic energy as half times mass times V square, so that is 100 joules. Now if its velocity is increased 3 times, if velocity is made thrice, V becomes 15, and this gives us kinetic energy as half times mass times velocity square. So yes, that is 225 joules. So let us see the conservation of energy. So here, if we are able to prove that total energy at all the points are same, then we can conclude that total energy is constant, right? So what should be our objective? To prove at least at 2-3 points total energy is constant. That means we are getting same value at all the positions. So what I will do now, let us say this is the surface of earth, and from a certain point, let us say h distance or h height up, an object is released. So we will calculate the total energy at point 1, total energy at point 2, and total energy at any point in between, let us say here. So let us say at x meters deep, I will calculate total energy. So we should agree that if energy at 1, 2 and 3 comes out to be same, then we should conclude total energy is constant throughout the journey, and in the universe total energy is same. So to find total energy at 1, you can see object is released at this point. So E1, first of all, at all the points, what all energies will be there? Only kinetic and potential. Only kinetic and potential, because in motion we consider only kinetic and potential energy. So at point 1, kinetic energy will be 0 because object is released, its speed is 0, right? So it should be only mgh because it is dependent on height. Potential energy is mgh, and total energy at point 1, what we got? Mgh. Let us keep track of it. Now at point 3, let us suppose, what is the total energy? Kinetic and potential. So potential energy we can easily find at point 3. At point 3, potential energy will be mg into height. What will be the height? H minus x, right? Because total is h, this is x.
Yeah.
So that is mgh minus mgx. But to find kinetic energy at point 3, we will need to find the speed. So object is released from the top. Let us apply equation of motion. Here initial velocity was 0, and at this point we need to find final velocity. Yes, we have the displacement, that is x. Acceleration also we have, that is g. So we can find out v. We can relate them using 2as is equal to v square minus u square. So u is 0. So v square from here will be 2g into displacement is x. So let us keep this v square only. So kinetic energy will be half m v square. Instead of v square, I will write 2gx. And
Okay.
this gives us kinetic energy as mgx. So if we add them, if we sum them, mgx and minus mgx gets cut, and we find energy at 2 also coming out to be mgh. Now the third and the last verification.
It's
This point, take this point as 3, this point as 2. Right? Energy at 2 is mgh. Let us find out
yeah.
energy at point 3. So at point 3, potential energy will be 0 because the object is on the surface and height is 0 on the surface. So at point 3, there will
Yeah.
be only kinetic energy. To find that, we will again need to find the speed at this point. So again, let us consider the complete motion. So from the top, object is having 0 initial velocity. At this point, we need to find velocity. What is the displacement here? Displacement is h,
DH.
right?
Yeah.
U is 0.
Hmm.
V needs to be figured out. Displacement is h, acceleration is g. So relate them
Yeah.
using v square minus u square equals to 2as. We get v square as 2gh. And let us put
Yeah.
here in the expression half m. Instead of v square, I'll use 2gh.
2GH. Okay.
And what does this show? That it is still coming out
MGH.
to be mgh. So we
Okay.
saw that energy at 1, 2 and 3, at all these positions, we are getting the same value, that is mgh, which indicates
Yeah.
energy is constant throughout. So I should not say
Okay.
only energy, I should say total energy is constant
Mm-hmm.
throughout the journey or everywhere.
Okay.
So let us recapitulate because that's important. We learned a lot many things in work,
Hmm.
power and energy. So first, the main thing we talked about was work.
Yeah.
Work was force into
Displacement.
displacement.
Yeah.
And we learned two types of work, positive and negative. Even there was zero work. We saw the
Zero.
conditions
Hmm.
for that. Next, we
Yeah.
talked about energy. We saw different types of energy considering the motion of an object. One was kinetic energy, another was gravitational potential energy. Kinetic energy was dependent on the speed of an object and given by half mv square. Potential energy was dependent on the height of the object and given by mgh. There was also relationship between momentum and kinetic energy, which was p square by 2m. And the most important thing which we should not forget is work done is always equal to energy consumed.
Hmm.
So rest all we will see in the next class because we are even yet to explore conservation of energy and do questions based on the conservation of energy.